ever have a year where it feels like everything just clicks? Like everyone's at their best, pushing the limits? Well, for high jump, that year was 2014. It was wild. I mean, 6 guys cleared 2.4 meters that year. 6? That's crazy, considering that height used to be this mythical barrier for jumpers. Let's start with the man from Qatar, Mutaz Essa Barshim. If you followed high jump at all, you know this guy. Barshim is like this mix of raw talent and smooth technique. What's crazy about him? How effortless he makes everything look. In 2013, he already jumped 2.40, but the year 2014, he went beyond. At the Brussels Diamond League, he jumped 2.43 meters. 2.43. That's the second highest jump ever. Only one man, Javier Sotomayor, has ever jumped higher. And even then, Barshim came within just 2 centimeters of that all-time record. Barshim's jump wasn't just about the height, it was art. His approach was graceful, his takeoff really explosive, and the clearance flawless. It looked like he floated over the bar. Many argue that this was a world record clearance. He's not just a jumper, he's an artist of the sport. The year 2013 and 2014 were just a beginning of his long, successful career. He is now the Olympic champion and has been on the podium in every Olympics, 2012, 2016, 2021, which he won, and the 2024, where he came third. The arguably best high jumper in the history was at the peak in 2014. Now, another guy who was on the pinnacle is Bohdan Bondarenko from Ukraine, one of Barshim's biggest rivals in 2014. If Barshim was all about elegance, Bondarenko was raw power. He had this wild, almost fearless approach to the bar, and it showed every time he competed. That season, Bondarenko cleared 2.42 meters in New York, just behind Barshim's 2.43. But what really made Bondarenko stand out was his willingness to push the limits of what was possible. He wasn't afraid to go after world records, even if it meant raising the bar to insane heights, like for example, 2.47. He won the World Championship in year 2013 with a jump of 2.41, following with a European title in 2014 and bronze at the 2016 Olympics, and has cleared 2.407 times in his career. Absolute beast. Bondarenko was mostly known for his rivalry with Mutaz Essa Barshim. It was one of the great showdowns of the sport. Whenever they competed, you could feel the tension. They weren't just competing for wins, they were competing to break records. Their head-to-head battles in 2014 were must-watch events. One meet it would be Bondarenko out-jumping Barshim, and the next it was Barshim pushing the boundaries even further. It was like watching two titans clash, both constantly forcing each other to be better. Then there we have Ivan Ukhov, the Russian powerhouse. You might remember Ukhov as the guy who famously won Olympic gold in 2012, but in 2014, he was still very much in the game. Ukhov cleared 2.42 meters that year. And what's even more impressive is that he did it indoors, at a meet in Prague, and with a lot of space to spare. Jumping indoors is a whole different ballgame. The conditions are tighter, the air's different, but Ukhov, he thrived in it. However, in February 2019, he was convicted in the case of systematic use of anabolic steroids in the Russian athletics team and received a 4-year ban, and all his sporting results from July 16, 2012 to the end of 2014 were disqualified, causing him to lose his Olympic gold medal and phenomenal clearances like this. That means this jump actually legally doesn't exist now. He's one of those guys who can be a little unpredictable. In fact, he once showed up to a competition slightly tipsy. Yeah, seriously. In 2008, there was that infamous video of him trying to jump while clearly not in the best shape. Despite that, he went on to become one of the best high jumpers in the world. Such a crazy guy. Let's not forget Andriy Protsenko, another guy from Ukraine. He's a bit quieter compared to the other big names, but you can't sleep on him. In 2014, Protsenko cleared 2.40 meters in Lausanne. He has bronze from the World Championships and silver from indoor champion. What's fascinating about Protsenko is that he doesn't have the same flair as Barshim or Bondarenko. He's more of a silent assassin. He's calm, methodical, and just goes about his business. But when the moment comes, he can produce magic. He doesn't make a big deal of it, but when you look at his career, he's one of the most consistent jumpers out there. He might not be as flashy, but that year, he made his mark with one of the highest jumps ever. Then, there's Aleksei Dmitrik, another Russian jumper who had a career year in 2014. Dmitrik might not be as well known as Barshim or Bondarenko, but that season, he cleared 2.40 meters too in Arnstadt. What makes Dmitrik interesting is that he's been around for a while, consistently posting solid jumps. But in 2014, he had this breakout moment. Dmitrik has always been a bit of an underdog, not always in the spotlight like some of the other guys. But in 2014, he proved that he could hang with the best of them. His 2.40 jump was a statement. He wasn't just here to compete, he was here to be a part of history. He won the silver medal at the 2011 World Championship, showing that he's been at the top level for a long time, just waiting for that perfect season. From Russia, we moved to Canada, where Drouin quietly entered the history book. Drouin wasn't known for the flashiness of some of the other jumpers, but what he lacked in explosiveness, he made up for in precision. In Eberstadt, Drouin cleared 2.40 meters, becoming the first Canadian ever to do so. His technical brilliance set him apart. Where others relied on power, Drouin's approach was like a perfectly timed dance. Each step, each takeoff, calculated to perfection. He proved his consistency after coming second in the 2012 Olympics, gold at the 2016 Olympics, and gold at the 2015 World Championship, and solidified his status as one of the best technical jumpers the sport had ever seen. So, what made 2014 so special? It wasn't just one guy having a great season. It was the fact that all these athletes were pushing each other to new heights, literally. 6 guys cleared 2.4 meters that year, and that's almost unheard of. Before 2014, only a handful of athletes had ever crossed that mark. Suddenly, we had 6 doing it in a single season. Barshim and Bondarenko were the headliner, constantly pushing each other at every meet. Their rivalry was electric. One day it was Barshim on top, the next it was Bondarenko. It was like watching 2 gladiators go head-to-head, and you never knew who would come out on top. Then, guys like Ukhov, Dmitrik, Protsenko, and Drouin were right there, ready to snatch the spotlight if either of the top 2 faltered. From all of these guys, only Barshim is still competing now. What really made 2014 feel special was that it wasn't just about winning, it was about legacy. These guys weren't just competing to be the best that season, they were competing to make history. These were more than just jumps. They were moments where the boundaries of what's humanly possible got pushed a little further. So yeah, 2014 wasn't just a golden era for high jump. It was one of the greatest years in the sport's history. 6 guys, all over 2.4 meters. It was a season that we'll be talking about for years to come. Who knows if we'll ever see a year like that again, but man, was it fun to watch.